Hola, buenas noches. Good evening. My name is Abelardo de la Peña Jr. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, welcoming you to tonight's En Casa con La Plaza. Tonight we're going to meet two creatives bringing fresh takes within the musical theater genre on local stages. Coincidentally, both of these guests with us will be opening musicals on the same weekend here in LA. We're very lucky. We also have with us tonight Mayu Molina Lehmann, a Mexican-American playwright and author. She received her BA in Spanish Literature and Latin American Studies at Tec de Monterrey in Mexico. During her studies, she became deeply involved in the university's musical theater program. She's the author of a young adult novel, La hija del candidato, and also a bilingual children's book, A New Life for Candy. She's now in Washington, D.C., and her play also opens up in a couple weekends from now. So with that, please zoom in Mayu and Teresa.
Hello.
Hi.
Buenas noches.
Hola, buenas
Buenas
noches.
noches. Gracias. Gracias por la invitación.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh.
It was kind of a short notice for the both of you, but such a coincidence that on the same weekend you're both opening up shows that one, Teresa, yours is new to the theater world, and Mayu, yours has been shown before on the East Coast. So this will be a conversation. We're going to show some photographs and some clips and a little bit of music. Bring on Mayu.
Yes.
Mayu. All right, let's go. How are you?
Good. Very happy to be with you, Abelardo. Thank you very much for the invitation.
All right, well, tell us about Monarch.
Monarch,
a Mexican-American musical.
Yes.
Give us a little bit about what it's about.
Yes. So Monarch tells the story of a Mexican immigrant from Michoacan who moves to the United States with his young daughter. And he has a business and he does well. And he does, like many immigrants, does all kinds of odd jobs. He's a gardener, a painter, a plumber, driver, he does all kinds of jobs. And so he lives in the United States for 20 years. And then, we discover that he's undocumented. And so he starts being persecuted by ICE. And it's how his life, from being a very well-respected man and from being very, very beloved in his community, and how he becomes like a fugitive. And he escaped, the difficulties he encounters because of that. And also his daughter is a 20-year-old dreamer. And so we also talk about the issue of the dreamers. And we play a lot with the image of the monarch butterfly, which, as you know, is a constant migrant. And so the play is structured with the life of the monarch butterfly. And we follow the life cycle of the monarch butterfly as it leaves Mexico. And then the first generation of butterflies dies after it crosses to Texas. And then the second and third generation of monarchs continue the journey north. And then the third generation all of a sudden feels the urge to return to the same forest of their ancestors in the Central Valley of Mexico. And then the cycle starts over again. So that cycle informs the play, and we play with the image of the monarch butterfly and immigrants.
And what was the inspiration for the play itself? And first of all, is this the first one that you've been part of?
Yes, this is my first play. And the story is, I wrote this with my brother, who's a composer, Alfonso Molina. And he was studying music in Manhattan School of Music like a decade ago. And I went to visit him, and we went to Broadway and we saw this beautiful place. And I remember telling him, how come there's nothing for Mexican Americans? How come? I mean, there's so many millions of us. How come there's nothing? And then I said a question with pure ignorance. Why don't we write one? And so that was the start of this whole project. And so many years later, here we are with Monarch, a Mexican-American musical.
And so basically there's a couple, there's the story itself, and then there's
Yes.
the music and the composition. Who is responsible for what?
So my brother wrote the music, and it's all musical. It's important to say that it's a classic musical in the sense that there's music all the time. I mean, there's dialogue, but it's all with the music, and so there's like 54 songs, all together, or musical segments. And so he wrote the music, and between both of us, we wrote the lyrics and the story itself.
And so this is the first production here on the West Coast, but you've mounted it before?
No, this is the first time we're going to show it. This is a premiere.
Wow, incredible.
Yes, so we're very excited. And we wanted to do it in California because of the Mexican American, population there. So
And
yes.
and you've been I'm assuming you've had rehearsals for a little while.
Yes, for a while.
But you've been on the West Coast, and what the actors and musicians and so are here you're on the East Coast,
Yes.
Out of
Yes.
Washington D.C., correct?
Yeah, yes. Well, it's a new world. It's interesting because this play was made possible because of the pandemic, strangely enough. Zoom and all that forced us to rehearse online and to do things that we would never have thought of before. There you go. So it's strange that how the pandemic has allowed us to improvise and do things that we would never have thought before.
And how did you handle first auditions and rehearsals?
Zoom, and and meetings physically, but a lot of Zoom meetings.
And who will be has your brother been here in LA?
We have been there. Yeah, we have been there before. Yes.
All right, good. And
Yeah.
tell us where it's going to be showing.
It's going to be shown at the Hudson Theater in West Hollywood, and you can get tickets at the hudsontheater.com. And I have a special offer for your audience. We have a 25% discount with the code Monarch25.
All right, good. And I'll post that towards the end of the conversation here. I have a little clip here, a little YouTube clip.
Yes, that's an old one, but go ahead.
Okay, good. Well, let's go ahead and show. This is from recorded about 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been a long time coming, but we're happy to be here. Yes. Monarch.
Oops, let me start that again. Sorry.
Highlights the joy.
Zoom is fun. Here goes.
It is. The hopes and the heartbreaks of immigrants in the United States.
The miracle will unfold. Those are not leaves hanging from the heavens. They are not leaves floating around. Yes, they are butterflies.
The most amazing creature of all, it's a monarch, my girl. A butterfly, the trouble tells and smile despite of it all. And she won't stop, she will overcome alone.
Monarch is a musical that reflects the life of undocumented immigrants in the United States.
It's about normal, decent people from Latin America that have been living in the United States for the last 20 or 30 years, and now they're being asked to leave.
Hi, let me introduce myself. My name is Luis. I've been working in this country for the last 20 years. Every day I wake up early and get to work at this workshop. Some people call me Luis, some people call me Paisano, others Hermano. That's all okay with me. If I could help you in anything, I will give you a mano. So I'm a gardener, a painter, a plumber, sometimes I'm a driver.
We tell the story through Luis and his daughter, who is a dreamer, meaning that she was brought to this country as an infant. Luis has been working in this country for the last 20 years without any problems. But everything changes when he and his family start being persecuted by immigration forces.
It's a matter of time that I catch you. We can play this game if you want. You can hide, you can pray, you can run, but you don't stand a chance.
It's a matter of time that we stop.
Let's see about
We can
that.
fight forever,
But
but
you will be gone.
All right. Well, we don't want to give the whole thing away.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping that the audience will get out of the production?
Well, we want to present a positive image of Mexican Americans. You know, there's a distorted image in the media and movies about Mexican Americans, Hispanics in general, and we want to present the positive. You know, like this guy who's a hard worker, who takes care of his family, who's a good guy, who just wants the best for his family and for his friends. And so we want to present a positive image of Hispanics, of who we know we are, instead of the distorted and negative image that we are portrayed as so often, you know.
Let me unmute. Thank you. Yeah, using music and I'm assuming you're also having dance.
A little bit, yes. There's one number, one dance number, yes.
And how big is the company that's performing?
12.
Wow. And that includes dancers and the actors, the singers.
Yeah, we have eight actors for choir. Yeah, there's not and they all dance. Yeah.
And as you mentioned before we started the program, this is kind of like a test run to try to get.
Yes, we just want to show it because we think it will resonate with Mexican Americans, Hispanics, and immigrants in the United States, you know, especially with the anti-immigrant rhetoric of some last years. I think we want to see us represented as in a positive light, as good people, as hardworking people, as people who contribute a lot to the United States. So we think it will resonate with a lot of people that see Monarch.
And by combining music and drama, and I'm assuming, you know, is there like a romance here as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's a romance, of course. Yes.
All right.
It's a love story.
And do you think it's going to resonate with the community?
Yes, absolutely. That's why we want to show it in LA. That's why we want to start there, because it has to work in LA and in California. It has to work with the Hispanic community. All right, and then grow from there.
Well, thank you. I'll post the ticket information in the chat and also on the comment section right at the tail end of the program. So
thank you.
So thank you for joining us. Please stick around in case there's questions and for a little bit of interaction with you and Teresa. Teresa, welcome. Let's talk a little bit broadly about musicals and that genre. Do people respond to it more than if it were just, say, a drama or a comedy? Does the music help to tell the story? And the question is for both of you, for Mayu and for Teresa.
Well, I would say yes, of course, the music adds to the story. And to me, the musical theater brings together the most beautiful things in the world. Music, storytelling, poetry, dance, drama, costumes. I mean, it brings together the most beautiful things in the world. And so that's the magic of musical theater. And that's the difficulty of musical theater because you have to make it work together. And I think that's why there's so little of them. But it's wonderful. I mean, to me, it's the most beautiful art form.
Mayu, yours is, of course, a different kind of music altogether. It's more orchestral.
Yes. It's more classic. It's like more classic Broadway style music. But if you pay attention, it's based on Latin rhythms. I mean, you can't see it initially, but if you pay attention, you'll realize it's like son, danzón, huapango, all kinds of Latin rhythms. So it's very interesting how it's like hidden in the music, but once you pay attention, you can hear it. It's very beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you so much to the both of you. One final thing: do you see this genre of musical? Do you see it growing and expanding I know that in movies anyway, we have In the Heights last year that came out, centered on the East Coast. West Side Story, of course, very classic. I mean, more than 50 years old, but with the revival of the movie, then also revivals every now and then in theaters. Do you see this expanding and becoming more popular within the Latino community?
Oh, we're betting on it. We're betting on it.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share the information here on the chat on Facebook. Let's see. You could. There's the click for the
You're
Eventbrite. So you
muted.
could buy your tickets there. I'm going to go ahead and post it on Facebook as well. And then Monarch, a Mexican American musical playing at the Hudson Main Stage Theater. One weekend only, Saturday, March 19th and Sunday, March 20th. Two showings on Saturday and one on Sunday. And there's the
Yes.
ticket information there.
And put the discount code,
I sure will.
Monarch25.
There it is right there.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Any final thoughts?
Well, thank you for. Oh, Teresa, you're in silence.
You're mute. You're muted. There you go. Go ahead, Mayu.
No, thank you for having me. And yes, come to the show. You'll love it. You'll feel happy to see Hispanics represented in a positive light. You'll see our music represented in a very elegant orchestration. And we're hoping people will feel proud of being Hispanics after seeing this show that represents the best of who we are.
All right. So with that, thank you so much, Mayu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much.
And all of you out there, thank you for joining us. Let's see who else came in today. Let's see if Jaime Moreno. Hopefully you guys can bring your plays to the San Fernando Valley in season. With that, muy buenas noches a todos. Thanks to our
Buenas
sponsors.
noches.
Buenas noches. Gracias.
Bye.
Bye. Gracias.
Gracias a ustedes.